Yo, hello everybody and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash and I hope you're having an amazing week. Currently it is Wednesday and let's get right into the charts for Bitcoin. Right now, as you can see, today we are testing that weekly pivot again. Yesterday we did get above it, but once again we got a fake out and rejection from this value area high, basically this very important resistance right now. And as you can see, we did also get a fake out. Let's go on a lower time frame, like the 2 hour or 1 hour. You can see we dropped down below that POC, but then we very fast made a move back, and right now we are rejecting from that weekly pivot. So very choppy price action right now as for Bitcoin. But you can see the altcoins like Ethereum, they are having a bigger correction. Basically it rejecting from that weekly pivot resistance. One is right now almost 7% to the downside, basically from the top that we made. The same goes for Solana. You can see Solana was at 206 and we got a drop down of around 9% to 188 basically. Not yet to that weekly pivot. That weekly pivot sits at 176 basically. And the same goes for Sui. Sui did also get a very big correction down basically from that top that we made. Right now almost 13%, but you can see right now we did actually get a SFP of this week right here, and right now the price is having a slight recovery of around 3.5%. Also XRP is pushing down, breaking below that weekly pivot as well. You can see getting oversold on that 1 hourly RSI momentum, and right now we are trying back to reclaim that weekly pivot. So very choppy price action for Bitcoin, but the altcoins are taking a dump since let me show you the reason for that. Is because Bitcoin is consolidating right here, but the Bitcoin dominance is actually finding support right here on that trend line that we drew, which as of right now would be bad for the altcoins if the Bitcoin dominance starts pushing again to the upside after this very strong move to the downside. But the altcoins, all of them, they did get a nice move. But right now, if the Bitcoin dominance starts pushing, then it is also possible that Bitcoin starts running again and potentially break out of this bullish flag right now that we are still creating right here. As you can see, basically the same range that we got right here. Right now we are creating right here after a pump. As you guys know, after Bitcoin having a big move to the upside, it loves to chop and range after that. The same goes for a move to the downside. Bitcoin ranges a bit and then pushes again or breaks down. It depends on the trend of the market, as you know. But right now the most important zone for Bitcoin is that we need to hold, as I said, that value area low of this range, basically 116. Today we did touch 116k. Basically there was some very big liquidity sitting there at 115k, but Bitcoin did not actually take out all of this liquidity. It just took a bit, so it is possible that it will go back down and try and take out all of this liquidity because before having another move to the upside. And now if we look at the open interest for Bitcoin, you can see we are having CVD going down and open interest going up. So we are having shorts opening once again in the market, as you know. And actually the shorts managed to take out some liquidity, as you can see from the longs right here. Some long positions got liquidated on these two moves basically to the downside. Also, if we look at the longs versus shorts ratio, you can see another day in a row we do have more selling pressure in the market for Bitcoin on the major exchanges. Also, if we go back and look at the ETF inflow data, basically you can see we are having another red day outflows for Bitcoin in a row. So yesterday it was 131 million, today it's only 68 million. But basically you can see this is just because BlackRock, they have not been buying, and the other institutions, they have been selling, as you can see, most of them. But BlackRock, they don't sell, they just don't buy. As you can see, it is at zero, so this means that they do not bought, but the other institutions are selling. So maybe we can see if they are not buying, potentially I'm expecting a breakdown of this range, since the institutions, they always know, in my opinion, when to get in and when to get out. And so this is kind of a troubling signal, in my opinion, that the institutions, BlackRock is not buying, and that the other institutions are selling, basically. But the stock market is still looking pretty nice. The S&P 500 having a nice pump at the New York open session, basically. But right now it is struggling at that second weekly pivot resistance. The same goes for the Nasdaq yesterday, after pushing up from that weekly pivot. The correction that we got rejected once again today from the first weekly pivot resistance, and got that pump once again at the market open at New York session, basically. So stock market still doing pretty well, but it is possible that Bitcoin has reached somewhat of a top right here for now. As long as the institution keeps selling, in my opinion, we will have some more moves to the downside potentially, if we do not range longer right here in this chop that we have been having right now. Also, my target for Ethereum was this weekly pivot right here. I even posted that I am expecting a bounce from here, but right now we are slightly front running it once again. As you know, you can follow me on X. I do give you guys real-time updates of the markets right here. You can see I did post that I am expecting it to hit that weekly pivot, since 99% of the time they do get hit, and then we see a retracement to the upside, basically. And a couple of hours later we almost touched that weekly pivot. But right now, as you know, since Bitcoin is struggling and the Bitcoin dominance is pushing to the upside, it may struggle a little bit. We may even lose that weekly pivot if price gets down here and the weekly pivot does not hold. Then potentially we can test the first weekly pivot support, which is basically 3,300 for it. The same goes Solana. If it loses this level right here, basically 180, we might get back and test 100 down to 176, that weekly pivot, basically, and then we can see that move to the upside. But as of right now, we need Bitcoin to hold this range and have another push up in order for us to see a very nice continuation in the markets. But as of right now, you can see the fear and greed index is still sitting at 70, so I am expecting still some kind of a move potentially until we reach that extreme greed zone. But I am expecting for the price needs to be well above 125 to 130k in order for us to get back into that extreme greed zone, guys. So for now, I am just patiently waiting, and I am expecting, since we do have in 8 days another monthly candle opening. Depends on how we get this weekly closure right here, and the RSI momentum basically is touching that 80 line almost, you can see. So we might, if the new weekly candles, when it prints right here on the charts, it is possible that we may get a bigger retracement, like basically like we got right here, weeks to the downside, and then we can potentially see that continuation higher that I'm talking about. Since Q3 right now, basically the summer is being bullish, but it is also possible that the summer can very fast turn bearish. Not for long, just that we get a bigger correction, scare everyone out of the market, and then Bitcoin will pump once again, in my opinion, since if we look at the bigger picture, like the weekly time frame, you can see we have been consolidating, then up, consolidating a basically long right here to liquidate all the longs, shake out the weekends out of the market, and then we get a pump. Then the same thing happens, we get a fake out to the downside and another pump. So I am expecting some kind of the same thing to happen here, consolidation with a correction to the downside, basically to that previous range, the value area high 109, maybe even 107, or in the worst case scenario 101k. So basically we do something like this, fake out to the downside, and then we run straight up to 130 and maybe even 140 or even 150,000 for Bitcoin. Since if we enable the yearly pivots for Bitcoin, you can see my final yearly target for Bitcoin in the next 6 months would be that 150,000 level, basically the last yearly pivot resistance, which will take us right at 150,000. But in order for us to reach that target there, we need to break out of the second yearly pivot resistance. So 123k needs to be taken out and then flipped as support, and then Bitcoin can have another strong move to the upside, which will take us right to my target. But as of right now, as I said, potentially we are going to do just that, consolidate here, go down to 106k, basically test the first yearly pivot resistance as support, and then we can have that push to the upside. So this is my outlook for the markets right now, guys. Remember to subscribe for my channel, like the video, follow me on X, and also remember to trade on KSX with basically 0 fees on spot and 0 fees maker and 0.01 taker on futures, the lowest fees on from all of the other exchanges. So you can sign up using my link down in the description or using my referral code, which is right here. And yes guys, I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.